Alright, today we're in Clever, and when you're in Clever you go to FOSS, and remember it's going to take a minute, and I'm already signed in as Mallory, so if you get to this page and it doesn't show you your books right away, you just have to click on my student page. On my student page then we're still in Soils, Rocks, and Landforms. For today what we're going to do is we're going to go to our ebook. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the interactive ebook. I'm going to go over with you some of them today, and then you can go back and reread it if you want to go back and reread it. So today we are going to go to a map, and it's a special kind of map, and it's called a topographical map. And it's right after our fossils page. Okay, it's on page 31, and I'm going to make it so it's just one page so we can focus on it. And I'm going to hit this button right here because that's going to make it bigger so you don't have to sit there and squeeze your eyes. Right here, well, this is a compass. We've seen this before, but this is a different type of map. And if you notice on the map right away, we see that it looks like a bunch of squiggly lines. We notice it's some different colors, not a lot of colors, but some different colors. So this is an example of a topographic map. So we're going to read to find out what is a topographic map. That is your question for today. That's what you're going to have to be able to answer after we are done reading. Alright, so a topographic maps. A map is a picture of the Earth's surface. Although most maps are drawn on flat paper, Earth has many bumps and curves. These changes in elevation are difficult to show on a flat surface. A topographic map is a type of map that shows changes in elevation. So I'm going to try to use this highlighter right here because that was important right there. Right there. And let's make it yellow. Alright, so this map shows us the changes in elevation. And what that means, elevation is how high something or how low something is. So these maps will show you the different landforms by telling you if they're high or if they're low, and we're going to get better at reading them and what those lines mean. At first, a topographic map may look like squiggles and blotches of color. However, the map can provide a great deal of information. First, you must understand how the lines and symbols are used. The most obvious feature of a topographic map is the system of curved lines that covers the maps. These lines are called contour lines, and they're usually brown. Okay, so I see a dark word, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. Let's do it orange again, or yellow. So they're contour lines, and they're usually brown. Each contour line represents a specific elevation. So each line represents a specific height. So I'm going to do that one, but let's do it in red. So the lines are called contour lines, and each line is a specific elevation, which means it's a specific height. Elevations on U.S. maps published by the U.S. Geological Survey are measured in feet above sea level. So the 0 would be sea level. In country where the metric system is used, elevations are measured in meters. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing in math too. We're learning both the customary and the metric. Surveyors measure elevations when they gather the information to create a new map. When you move your finger along a contour line on a topographic map, the elevation is the same at every point on that line. Your path would be flat if you walked along the course of the contour represents in the real world. You would not go uphill or downhill. Contour lines are always connected at both ends. If you follow a contour line on a topographic map, you will always return to the place where you began. Sometimes the ends of the contour line run off the map page, but eventually they connect if you enlarge the map or follow them on the adjacent map. Okay, so they always will be the same height, so they make circles. They make circles around. All right. A hill on a topographic map is represented by rings of contour lines. The rings become smaller and smaller as they approach the top of the hill. So at the bottom of the hill, they're bigger, and then on the paper, because you know how a hill gets smaller and smaller as it goes up, so those rings get smaller and smaller. If you move from one contour line to another, you move up or down in elevation. In real life, if you walk across the contour lines represented on the map, you will go either uphill or downhill. So if we followed a line around, it would be the same. But if we went from one line up to another line, that means we're going up or down the hill. Elevation changes rapidly if contour lines are close together. So if those lines are close, that means it's a steep hill. A steep hill is represented by closely spaced contour lines. If the contour lines are farther apart, that means it's just kind of a gradual slope, just not steep. Some contour lines are thicker than others and have elevations printed on them. These are called index contours. The numbers tell the elevation of the index contours, kind of like benchmarks. Index contours help determine whether the elevation is rising or falling. Topographic maps contain other important information. A scale is printed on the bottom of the map. In the United States, the standard scale of many topographic maps is 1 to 1 inch equals 24,000 inches or 2,000 feet. The scale is shown as a ratio. The graphic scale or both. Some maps, the scale is given in meters. The text in the margin also states the contour interval. This is the change in elevation between any two contour lines. Contour intervals of 3 meters means that the elevation between any two contour lines. A contour interval of 3 meters means that the elevation of each contour line is 3 meters higher or lower than the one next to it. So then the other thing, now that was a lot. I don't expect you to remember all that. That was just more for your information. What I expect you to remember is that the contour lines are showing you the elevation, which is the height. If they're farther, I expect you to know that it's not a very steep slope. And if they're close, I expect you to know that it's a steep slope. So the colors we noticed is green is major vegetation, forest, brush, and orchards. So all on this map, all the green means there's major vegetation. Blue is water, lakes, streams, rivers, springs, marshes, the ocean, and glaciers, and you can see that. Red is highways or boundaries. Black is human-made structures and place names. White, absence of vegetations like prairies, meadows, tundras, deserts. Brown, land features, lava flows, sand areas, and contour lines. So the colors kind of match whatever it's representing there. Okay, so this is a topographic map of Yosemite Valley. So this is what it looks like in real life, and this is what the topographic map looks like that the mappers drew. And actually, a cartographer is a person who makes maps. So you can see how it looks kind of different. Topographic maps contain much more information than changes in elevation. Symbols and colors represent natural landforms, vegetations, and structures made by people. The USGS topographic maps use the standard set of colors and symbols to represent objects. The United States Geological Survey, USGS, and so this is a man out there doing those measurements. So they don't just make them up. They have people out there with these tools, and you might have seen them on the freeway. They use them sometimes. Somebody's looking through a tripod looking thing. Topographic maps are made by the United States Geological Survey, the USGS. This federal agency was established in 1879. Its task is to map, study, and interpret the geology, hydrology, and topography of the country. USGS surveyors use the latest scientific instruments to create accurate maps. They have created topographic maps of the entire country. In addition, USGS investigates natural hazards such as volcanoes, earthquakes, and landslides. So that looks like it might be a fun and interesting job. So remember, the one thing that I wanted you to be back on our other page is I wanted to know what a topographic map was, and I think this is important too. The contour lines, and each of the lines represent specific elevation. Now, this is the story that I want you to read today, so you can either just have listened with me, so you can answer your question, or you can go back and listen to it again and highlight your own things for it. Make sure to fill in the question and hit turn in, please.